Well, what's going on, family? It's your main man, Joe Dupree, in the building. Community conversations as I am taking care of a few things. Share this with a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Fatim is on his way in. And tonight we got a big show, great show. First show in November. Holiday season is right around the corner. And family, it's going down. That's all I can say. It's going down. So tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with a friend. Tell them to jump on as we get into this community conversation as we do about this time on a Tuesday. Hopefully, you had a wonderful weekend and a great Monday. Now, Tuesday's here. No matter where you're at in the world, tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with a friend. We are on the scene. Yours truly, along with my brother Fatim. We're going to be in the building. So we're gonna have some great conversation tonight. Like I said, I'm waiting for Fatim to get on. Hopefully you had a great weekend, a great Monday. Gonna be talking about a lot, whole lot. Some folks said that I need to continue some conversations from our last community conversations. We're gonna get into that. Also, want to let you know about a new show starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time, which will be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check out Wellness Wednesday. Wellness Wednesday, where we talk about mental health. And I think mental health is crucial 24/7, 365, but especially in the holidays, especially with everything that was going on with COVID. I definitely think that mental health is majorly important. And that's why we're in the building. We're giving you some insight from folk that look like you, talk like you, folk who just like my brother Fatim, who in the building. Hey
In
man, I need that sweater. I need that sweater. There he is, brother Fatim, BLS, New York, in the building. Fatim, what's happening,
What's
baby?
up, baby? What's happening? I left something, man. I had to go back and get it.
That's it. I left something. I had to go back and get
I
it.
had to
Hold
go
it, hold
back
it.
and get it.
That
Yes, sir.
that might be a Facebook post I have to post. I left
Oh,
something.
I had to
I had
go
to go
back and
back
get
and
it,
get it.
man. That's right. That's right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get it right out now to plug it right into what I forgot, my plug. Because if I don't use, if I use my, kind of extension cord with numerous, and I got an echo. There we go. That's better. With numerous plugs, I don't have to have a plug for this to charge my phone. So I had to go back and get that.
So, brother, how was your Monday? How was your weekend? How was life since the last time we talked on a Tuesday?
Yo, I must say I got to give a shout out to my friend invited me down to Charlotte. I got down to Charlotte over the weekend and hung out down there and had a great time, and got back to South Carolina, headed back up to New York City this weekend, take care of some business and things like that. But I had a good weekend. What about your weekend, my brother? You always on the HBCU campuses, man. What's
Right,
going
right.
on?
Big game in HBCU SWAC West for those who know about football and the SWAC conference, which is one of the premier HBCU conferences, along with the MEAC, the SIC, and the CIC. But in the SWAC in the West,
Hmm.
the Alcorn Braves showed up at Southern University, and it was a big game. The Southern University Jaguars came out victorious, and their next game, this coming up Saturday, will be once again on the bluffs of Southern University, A.W. Mumford Stadium, as the Southern University Jaguars take on the FAMU Rattlers, which
Okay.
will also be a huge game with implications of who could be playing for the SWAC championship to go on and play for the Black National College Championship in the Celebration Bowl against whoever wins in the MEAC, which looks like South Carolina State is just running things in the MEAC. So
Mm.
it's all football all the time, especially with a lot of emphasis with me with the HBCUs. So I got nothing but love for all my HBCUs, but I especially have love for two. One that I paraded around on campus for 4 years, which is the Grambling State
Uh
University,
huh.
and number two, always in my heart because I believe I am a son of Southern University. I have been working, helping produce and film and do player interviews with the Southern University Jaguars 10 years now with my good friend Todd Sterling with the Jaguar Football Show, and Southern and Grambling. Bayou Classic is coming up.
That's right.
Thanksgiving weekend, you know, the granddaddy of them all. So family, we just in here now tonight. Let me hit some things. I want to. We have some things we need to talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Some folks reached out to me, said, first of all, we need to continue gun violence in us part 2. Okay, so we're gonna jump into that. We got a segment tonight called "Did You Know?" Especially with the holidays coming up. Did you know? And I have the following things I would like to talk about. One is how important is telling the truth. I want to talk about that. Also, since it's the holiday season, for those of you who are a little promiscuous during the holidays, is one partner enough? I'm just saying. Also, this is going to be real funny because somebody said you really need to ask this question. Should we, since we have tried to legalize marijuana, should we also legalize prostitution in the United States of America like it is in Europe? And of course,
so I don't even think we should even talk about gun violence tonight.
Okay. Well,
but you said somebody brought that up. So
right, somebody brought it up, and we got plenty of time. I'm trying to get it in because tell them at 8:00 our time, which is 9:00 your time, right, you transition over to another show in which I just love that you keep it flowing and going, that the conversation even goes up to a higher level. So what show do you have at 9:00 your time?
Yeah, Tangy Tea of Life, that's running now. And what happens, since I'm in South Carolina, I just decided to jump on because they usually do it in the studio at South Carolina Tech. But that's where I'm coming to you live from now. So since we do an hour, I jump from here and go right through those 2 doors over that direction and join them. So that's why I do double duty, and and that's more about relationships and things like that. Get a little down and dirty in the dirty. So I just let people know it ain't BLS. It's a little, it's a little grown folks, like Michael Basin say, a little grown folks after midnight.
Okay. So also we want to talk about mental health during the holidays, and I've got a new show that will be debuting tomorrow. Definitely want everybody to be a part of Wellness Wednesday, where we talk about mental health and of course you just being a better you, because a healthy you is a better you. Always remember that. So let's start off where somebody said I should have went a little deeper last time, but let's start off with this craziest thing. The person who asked me earlier today, are you going to continue to talk about gun violence in the city that I'm in? And I represent down south, I represent New Orleans, and I also represent Lafayette, Louisiana. I want to very much talk about, we had a shooting today. We had a shooting of a young juvenile. It hasn't been 100% confirmed, but today there was a shooting that actually just occurred a few hours ago, involving a 9-year-old little girl who got caught up in the midst of whatever gunfire that was going on. The gunfire wasn't even meant for her. She got hit by miscellaneous gunfire in a neighborhood maybe about 5 miles away from where I'm at right now. So the sad thing is, we really have to, amongst ourselves, start saying to ourselves, when is enough enough? And when are we going to start within ourselves internally resolving the issue of all these guns on the street and what's going on with guns? I mean, that's the bottom line.
Well, Joe, it's always trying to be politically correct and trying to do things the right way. And trying to do things the right way, why is it not getting done? And that's the question. Why is things not getting done with the guns? So I'm going to go there. I'm not no punk. I'm not scared to say it. I know a lot of people, activists and this, that, and other, gun cure people. I work with a lot of gun cure people, and I would love to, if I knew we was doing this, I would have loved to have them come on that walk the streets, especially in New York City, that deal with the hard criminals and have stop gun violence. Newark Mayor Ras Baraka in 2020.
You know what? I'm glad you just said that. So let me put some brakes on something. To the person that asked me if they're our own right now and they're listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for being on. But we're going to actually do a whole show about the gun violence and call it gun violence in our neighborhoods. And we're
Yeah.
gonna do it a lot better than what we're doing right now. We're gonna switch gears because, as you see, I have a comment up here, and this
Yeah.
comment I have to
Yeah.
address.
Yeah,
I
but let me
have to
just say
address
this. Let me just say this, Joe, real quick, since
Go
I
ahead.
started. So at the end of the day, something is not working, and we have to understand the whole dynamic. And I think people need to understand the dynamic. If you're going to fight something, a lot of people say take the guns off the street, search your kid's room, this, that, and other. But you got to understand the gun pipeline. You have to understand the history of this country, how violent this country is, and you got to understand where the guns are coming from and how many guns are on the street to deal with this aspect. And then you got to deal with the illegal behavior that is going on. And some of the things that they implement is just not working. And I think that how it goes, it starts with your house, it starts with your block, and then it goes block by block in your community. And what people need to do is they need to patrol their own community. We need to have armed security. I know the Nation of Islam has done a lot of security and have cut down on violence without any weapons, and that's nice. But we are in a different era, and I think that we can have those kind of individuals that have the respect from the community to do that. But on the back end, to back them up, we need to have armed security. So if anybody gets crazy, then you understand what I'm saying? This is real. And if we're going to protect our babies, when you start getting 9-year-old babies getting shot and younger, I know a baby in a stroller got shot last year. Then we have to take this serious, and we have to deal with serious methods, and we have to have serious conversation about it. And I don't care who feet I step on. The bottom line, we got to get tougher on crime, but we cannot profile and weaponize people of color when it comes to this. We have to deal with this head on.
Right. True. And that's why we're going to dedicate next Tuesday's show to completely bringing on guests and talking about individuals. We're going to get individuals on here who will talk about being in the streets, dealing with gun violence. We will talk to former incarcerated individuals who will tell us about their experience with gun violence and being a part of the system. And we're going to just get down to some real conversation. Now, I did bring up one of the questions I had, and it's funny when I brought this question up. I said, should, just like marijuana, because everybody's pushing for marijuana to be legal nationwide, it is already legal in some states. But should, just like marijuana, prostitution be legal in every state? And the first post I see is the following from Miss Gaines. It says prostitution should be legal. It's a woman's choice how she chooses to use her body, and a man's choice if he wants to pay for services. Now, I did not say should female prostitution be legal. I said prostitution all the way across the board, because guess what? Men ain't the only one making purchases. Trust me. Men ain't the only one making purchases. Just should be the exchange of services and goods for sexual acts be legal, regardless if it's a woman paying another woman, a man paying a woman, or a woman paying a man, because all those things are going on. Trust me, it is legal in Europe. It is legal in Europe. So that is a question, because I think we really got to start asking some of the questions that are a little bit uncomfortable, a little taboo-ish, that we normally just folks wouldn't want to talk about, because the truth about the matter is we need to talk about this. Do you feel that prostitution should be legal? Now, once again, we're not talking about underage. We ain't talking about sex trafficking. We talking about the oldest profession known to man.
I don't know if it's the oldest profession the man, but I do know sex is one of the oldest professions. Doesn't matter, we wouldn't be here. So let's be real. I don't need to bring up marijuana to have this conversation. I don't need to bring up Europe to have this conversation. We just need to have a common sense and adult conversation on this. And I think that in the world that we live in today, with the sex diseases that you can't get rid of now, sex diseases before gonorrhea and syphilis, and if you caught it in time, you get a shot in the butt. and you go on about your business. Now you get certain disease like luggage and you can't get rid of it. Herpes, HIV, AIDS, you understand? So I think that prostitution should be legal. The problem with it is how is it going to be done? And then, of course, the government has their hand in the cookie jar and they're making a percentage off of this. But let's take away from the government perspective now. Let's just deal with the whole thing about prostitution. And I hear what you're saying. Yeah, men are not the only ones that's buying it. But let's look at it overall. It's a woman's world. And a man is a John. It's a woman's world, and a man is a John. So when I say a woman's world, I mean it's what we have known as the stereotype is women to do this. So at the end of the day, whoever does it, men or women, however they choose to do it, it needs to be regulations. It needs to be health regulations. That's number one. It needs to be health regulations there. Then number two, it needs to be regulations on the people that come in for services. At the end of the day, when I say come in for if there needs to be protection, there needs to be, they could even be testing. This is something that I think at the end of the day people enjoy. Sex is one of the most strongest emotions that we have known to man. You understand? Besides breathing and eating, and you understand what I'm saying? And using the bathroom. Seriously. So I just think it should be legal from the perspective that there's protection for these women, health protection protocols put in place, and that is not to the point that is government regulated, that the people that are in this profession, you know how many people and women do this? I mean, you got women at strip clubs that do it on the side to make money, this, that, and the other, and there's no regulations at the end of the day, and they are abused and taken advantage of.
Right.
So it's very simple, and I like to hear what people have to say. I know it's a lot of serious things out there to talk about that we're dealing with. It is election day, but we have these serious conversations. This is a serious conversation. There are women out there. There are women in some of your families that are doing this. You may know or may not know that they are doing this. Correct. You understand? And if you want to get in the nitty gritty, a lot of people in relationships are honestly paying for backside, paying for tail at the end of the day. So let's call a spade, and let's get down to the nitty gritty, and let's put some protocols in place that protect people, and so that we can move forward.
So of course, and this time I'm going to do this, because if you have a smartphone or a computer yourself, if you see, I just put up there the comment. If you want to join the conversation, all you got to do is click on this link, the https colon / StreamYard.com. You click on that link from your smartphone or from your own computer with a camera on it, and you can join in on this conversation. We're working on getting some phone lines and some other stuff, but I'm really at the point right now, I'll bring you on. Now,
could I just say this real quick? This is not a comment. I just want to bring a comment in real quick. Rhonda Hairston. Hairston is a stickler, and thank you for supporting us here on this side, the things that I do on the other side of BLS. Rhonda is there. She says the only state so far in this country that has legalized prostitution is Nevada. And she sent us a link that if we want to click that link for more information. So I just want to make sure we acknowledge that.
That's right. They have the Bunny Ranch in Nevada.
Okay.
So the question is, the question is, I'm just saying, and I know this is uncomfortable.
It ain't uncomfortable, Joe. Ain't comfortable paying for some tail.
Watch this. And I'm pretty sure there's some folks out there go, I would never. See, the ones who say I would never are probably the ones who would do it the most. And we've got to start having these conversations, because as adults, we can't shelter even young adults. When I say young adults, once you're 18, you're an adult. So you're 18, 19, 20, 21, and you've been so many times sheltered from what I call the real world, that when you experience the real world, you actually overdose on the real world. And that's how a lot of us wind up in situations that I feel like could be prevented if we can start having some real adult conversation and start being real with one another and just say, hey, have you ever asked yourself this question? Things that make you go,
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and the truth about it is, I'm pretty sure there's some people who have sit there and said to themselves, I wonder what would happen if they legalized prostitution. Nevada must have figured it out. Nevada said, we're going to do it and see what's going on. I'm glad that Miss Rhonda posted the link with the information. I listen, once again, I'm just asking the question. That will be one of many questions I'll ask tonight, because I will also ask the question, because in the holiday season, what I come to find out is holiday season is like side piece extravaganza season. So no, it really is. You know, people be in side piece overdrive during the holidays, and you can notice it. You know, you can notice it. So the question is, hold it, it's really a threefold question. One, is one partner enough? And better yet, dating during the holidays, you know, is it different dating during the holidays than it is when it's not the holidays? You know,
Well, I think one of the things is I don't, Joe. You know, it's interesting. You put out little sticklers here, and I don't disagree with you. I never looked at it as a side piece, time of the year, but I do know that for some reason during the holiday, it seems that people are a little bit more friskier. And I
mm-hmm.
think the reason is that the reason why they're a little bit more friskier is it's usually a happy time of the year. It's supposed to be a jolly time of the year. And you got to realize that your mental psyche heightens your awareness. It heightens your personality. And when you, hey baby, how you doing? How you doing? Sugar, how you feel? And it's just a lot of give and take. And when you feel good, you want to do good. And you got to realize that sex is honestly, of course, it's release, it's a purpose, but it's also expression. And sometimes you are feeling to the point that you want to express yourself a little bit more. You feel a little bit more free. A little alcohol is flowing a little bit more during that time of the year. People are a little bit more jollier. So I don't know about side piece, but I do know that there is people that are more friskier during that time of the year. They tend to be a little bit more happier. They tend to be a little bit more carefree, and they try to put their troubles behind them, since more people are trying to be jolly and happier during that time of the year.
I totally agree with you, Fatim. You know, but dating during the holidays, I feel, is a lot different than dating when it's not a holiday. And you know, this statistically, I was looking at some statistics when a person asked me this. Statistically, it's really funny to me that this is the time that most breakups happen. Not only
Mhm,
do people try to get together, but a lot of
mhm.
people break up. So it's like, I wonder if with guys, you know, I don't know about women. I wish some women would let me know. You know, most, it's funny to me. It's like, this is to say, I don't want to get. I've heard guys say I broke up with her because I really didn't want to give her nothing. You know, and I'm like, that's so cheesy. You know, that shouldn't be like that at all. You know, but dating during the holidays, and listen, you brought up a key word, the
Mhm,
mental status of most of us during the holidays. You know,
mhm.
holidays ain't happy for everybody.
No.
That's one of the reasons I'm bringing the Wellness Wednesdays in, where we can start really having some serious conversations about mental health, because during a COVID pandemic, global pandemic, just think right now, how many people lost somebody and will not have them at their dinner table, around the family, in the house during Thanksgiving, Christmas, and this new year, that people that they were convinced that these folks are okay, they're going to be all right, and now you wake up due to COVID, due to the global pandemic, they're gone. And last year they were with you this time. This year they're not going to be there. That's a mental stress and strain. And having to process that all of a sudden somebody who I just knew was going to be here is no longer here. And I have no one to talk to about my mental state of mind during these holidays, because the holidays are not happy for everyone, Fatim.
So you hit something very important. So yes, it is a sad part of the year. Even before COVID, you know, during this time of the year, if you lost a significant other, if you lost a parent or loved one, even a pet during this time of the year that was part of the family,
Right.
it's a downer. It's really a downer. At the end of the year, the problem has exacerbated now. You know why? Because some people say, "Oh, I just want to get through this, so Christmas is over." And after Christmas, the next day, 26, the Christmas commercials go off. So they have to deal with this after Thanksgiving. Well, now you're dealing with it honestly a week before Halloween. I was in the mall in Charlotte and I saw Christmas trees. You look on television, you're seeing Christmas commercials now. They're not abundant. So now people that are suffering in depression or they get depressed during this time of the year, instead of it just being a month of December and maybe the last week after Thanksgiving, now it's stretching all the way to Halloween. That is dangerous because the more a person stays in a depression state, the more chances that they can hurt themselves or others.
Wow. Wow. That I couldn't have put that or placed that better. And then I was sitting here thinking, not only on the relationship side or having a loved one who may have passed away tragically during this time period, now leading up into the holidays. Just think about this. Think about, you're working, you have children. Maybe you can't provide for your children because you're not making a living wage. You're actually the working poor, and it's the holidays. The holidays can be very depressing to folks because folks can be sitting there saying, "Man, I'm working these two jobs, I'm busting my tail trying to do everything, and I still can't get my children everything they want." And it's times like that that can lead folk down a rabbit hole that they might not recover from. And we got to stop making mental health and mental health issues taboo in the black community. We got to start really talking about it, because think about how many people I know that have taken their lives, or how many people that are friends of mine who, sadly, I have about four friends whose children have taken their own lives, because you can't tell me they were waiting for someone to hear their cry and be there for them to talk to them. And many a times I think we just don't want to talk about it. We feel like the mental health thing is not us. It's not happening with us. We look at it as a and sadly there are people who have mental issues who need help, and you need to start having the uncomfortable conversation and start asking people, "Are you okay? Are you okay?"
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's daily challenges. People break up, families break up. They're used to traditions. Um, I've been I've been as transparent as I need to be on this show for now. And like I said, I'm going through something, and it's not just me. It's going to be the folks within the family. And when things change, and you've been doing it all your life, especially when I say children, not even if they're grown, involved, it has a toll. It takes a toll on folks. And if you don't get the help that you need, you suffer inside trying to deal with it. Don't mean that you can't deal with it, but sometimes you need a little help of dealing with these challenges in life. Like I told you before, I talked about conflict resolution. When we have issues amongst one another, we got to learn how to solve these issues without escalating it. So
Mhm.
when we have these challenges in life that stresses us mentally and physically and spiritually, we really need help. And I'm glad that you're doing a mental with mental
Wellness Wednesday.
wellness
Right,
Wednesday. Come on, Fatigue, get it
right,
together.
right,
Wellness
right.
Wednesdays, because so many people need these kind of conversations. And I know you, Joe, you're going to talk about not only mental health, but you're going to talk about physical health, because
Right,
in the
right.
holidays, people are eating foods that they know they damn well they don't need to eat unless you're diabetic, you got your blood sugar under check,
Mm,
under
mm,
control, and then you
mm,
splurge a little. But then you know
mm.
what? You get up the next day after Thanksgiving and you work out and you get that blood sugar drop. You
Come on.
gotta do what needs to be done. But when you sitting your ass at that damn table and you throwing around that pork and you know you don't supposed to have that high sodium and this, that, and the other, oh, I'll be okay. Yeah, okay, till you grab that chest.
Right,
So I'm glad that
right.
you're doing this here. So, folks, we got to get ourselves in a better state of mind so we can deal with the everyday in and day out challenges that we have, good or and bad.
Hey, Fatim, I tell people we have enough against us just dealing with everyday rigmarole. Just everyday rigmarole. I think we as a people, and I just sum this up all together. Like I said, today a person confronted me and said, "Hey, I see where y'all started a conversation about gun violence. Y'all need to finish that up. We're going to. Uh, you know, I'm sure somebody's going to hit me with, man, y'all started the little conversation about the legalized prostitution and the legalized weed. Y'all need to do something about that too, and we will. Uh, but here's what we need you to start doing. We need y'all to start saying, not only when we start the conversation, we need to continue the conversation till we start getting some resolutions. Because here's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of all the talk and never anything getting resolved. Right now we're fighting a lot of stuff on a lot of different fronts. Uh, right now, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, for team, I know you do a lot of work with Reverend Sharpton, but the last time I checked, we don't even have a voting right act that's in place right now for us folk. Am I
Now
right?
we have a gutted Voting Rights Act,
Okay.
Voting Rights Act by the Supreme Court back in 2000 and I don't know if it was 13 or 17, whatever it happened, but it's gutted. It's gutted. So we don't have a voting right. And now with what's taking place across the country with these Republican houses and legislatures, they're putting in their state voting rights. And if there's now no federal voting rights to protect the people, then our votes are compromised and disenfranchised.
Yeah, I mean, family, we got to talk about right now. All eyes in the political world, and I know everybody's not into politics, but we have to understand how all of this is connected and how all of this affects all of us in some shape, form, or fashion. No matter if it's at the local level, if it's at the parish or the county level, if it's at the state level, if it's at the regional level, if it's at the national level, it all is intertwined, and we have to have some understanding that what we say and do and our philosophies ties into all of this. Be it the school board, be it the state, your own state representation in the state senate and the state house. We've got to start understanding that those that are in place that control how much taxes you pay control a great deal of what's going on in your life. And we got to start really waking up and saying the following. Not only do I need to get a little educated in the process, I need to know my rights. That's what we're going to do too. We're going to do a know your rights show where we're going to get some people in here to talk about where you know your rights. Because some of us is out there thinking that we right when we wrong. Some of us out there thinking that we wrong when we right. Some of us don't even know what to do when confronted by the powers, the authorities, or what's going on. I got a good friend of mine, Dr. Chris Williams. He's been on this show, and this is him right here. He says elections matter. They do. They do. And family, no matter where you at, like right now in Virginia, they're going for a governor's race in Virginia, and I think it's neck and neck between the Democrat and the Republican. And there are two different philosophies. When you have a Republican, the guy who's running to be the governor of Virginia literally made it crystal clear. You will not teach critical race theory in the state of Virginia if I become governor. I'll make sure of it. Folk like that ain't good for folk like us. Period.
They're just trying to again to keep their ugly history from being taught to their offspring. And by teaching it to their offspring, they're trying to say from a psychological level that it damages them going forward. Why do they have to learn about these ugly things and depressing them? Because it's reality. This is what your ancestors done to these folks. This is why this is why we fight for the things and the rights in this country until to this day, because of the things that were done in the past. You cannot move forward in the future if you don't understand and know what happened has it happened in the past. We're not asking you to live in the past. The Jewish people, they teach their children what happened to the Holocaust and in the Holocaust. at the end of the day. And not only do they teach their children, they've taught it in school. You don't hear them go, right now, think about saying, oh, we're going to take away anything that talks about the Holocaust in schools. Watch what the Jews do. They will shut this MFR down. They will shut it down.
Very good point. And we have to get, as a people of color, to that same place to understand our economical power to shut it down. Because you're right. It's right that they teach about the Holocaust, because if you don't teach what happened, it is destined to happen again. I think a great philosopher said that if you don't teach and learn from the past, it's destined to happen again.
And the only reason why it happens again, because people repeat history. That's why it happens again. History doesn't repeat itself. If people understand history and realize that we shouldn't be doing this to cause this cause and effect. But if you don't understand it, or if you do understand it and want to control people, that's why people that are in control repeat those things, because they have worked before against other people to keep those that are in power. And you got to realize, and this is not just racial, but this is real. White folks run this America world. Let's say America, not the world, America world. Fatigue. They run America. Let's just deal with this. This ain't racist. This is the real. But the white man and the white woman are becoming the minority in this country, but they still want to hold on to that majority of the power. That's why you have to understand politics. If you understand politics, you start to see that the small group that has the control are trying to hold on to it, and they will do anything necessary, cheat, manipulate, change the laws, and do whatever. You got to understand that. When you understand that, just like your friend you just said, Creole Rocks said, elections matter. They understand it. So even though we get frustrated, we got to still play the same game, because we're starting to beat them at their own game. That's why they're trying to change the rules.
Oh yeah, all the time. I mean, look at you. You can look at. I was watching Do the Right Thing last night, and I was laughing because I remember how old I was when Do the Right Thing came out, and Do the Right Thing had so much in there that was so educational to us at that time that we're still dealing with at this day. I was looking. Ruby Dee's no longer with us. Ruby Dee's husband's no longer with us.
Ozzie Davis.
Right. Radio Raheem no longer with us. But when Radio Raheem said, "Here's a story of love and hate," and began telling, this is the hand that slew, that slew one of the brothers, Cain and Abel, and these 5 fingers reach to the soul of man, and it looked like hate winning, but bam, here come love back. Family, we've got to start loving each other to the point that our love elevates us to a new place, to a place of prosperity, to a place that a lot of these murders that are happening in our neighborhood, and that a lot of this poverty and a lot of these issues that we deal with, because and it goes back to critical race theory and teaching. You don't want to teach your ugly past, but you want to tell every time you get a chance, y'all are the descendants of slaves. No, I'm not a descendant of a slave. I'm a descendant of kings and queens, architects and mathematicians and engineers that you just happen to get from a country, bring them to a country where they did not speak the language, and put them in an ominous situation of free labor and slavery. But no, I'm not a descendant of slaves. They were engineers, mathematicians, teachers, lawyers, doctors, great men and women who you enslaved, as one would do when they go and conquer a country. And we just got to start loving ourselves and getting ourselves to a place. And it's times like this, I really want Dr. Williams, to click on to that link and join in, but I don't want to make them come. But look, I'm gonna put it up again. Listen, I think it's in here. Hold up. If you'll see
I just want to correct something here real quick. Okay. You have to understand, because I don't want us to educate our audience on something that is wrong. Critical race theory is not something that is being implemented in our school systems. Critical race theory was something that was done in the legal profession instituted and implemented by Black legal minds and lawyers to take a look at the law and how the law discriminates against people of color. That's what critical race theory is. On the parallel, but you get white folks that don't know, and they look at critical race theory as Black history, but Black history is under attack. And what they're doing is these state houses, as you said, that are controlled by the Republicans, are putting in laws that these school boards and schools cannot teach Black history to the students because they feel. So I just want people to understand it's not critical race theory that they are trying to implement in the school system, because right now in New York, they have implemented, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago, they have implemented, and I could bring the brother who helped implement this, Dr. Shango Blake, on this show to talk about the African American history curriculum that they have implemented or going to implement. They already got the funding, and the governor has signed off on, the chancellor has signed off. This is going to happen in New York. So this is the way we're moving. And across the country where there's Republican legislatures in control, they are trying to stop this any way they can. But I'm telling you, if you are in a state where they don't want to teach Black history, then you form a group and you get the kids in your community and you start teaching and informing them. Let them know, let them walk in there and realize that they come from a rich and royal heritage and that they need to hold their head high, but they need to carry themselves like that so people will call them kings and queens. You can't call yourself a king and queen and act like a savage. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I believe the Honorable Pastor Minister Farrakhan just said that. He said, understand, he was using the word savage quite a great deal. And when you sit there and listen to the words that he said, and actually it was funny to me, I had not heard the speech. It was a person of a person who was not Black, was not a person of color, came to me and said, man, I was listening to Farrakhan, and Farrakhan was talking about the savagery for you to be, he said that you can't be mentally stable, that if you want to go out here and shoot somebody and then run and brag about you shooting them and they look just like you a savage.
Yeah. Honest Minister Louis Farrakhan also said, when he addressed the gangs in the community, and he went straight at them, and he said, you make my job hard. You make my job hard. I'm out here fighting racism and this, that, and the other that is going against us, and then you go out there and kill and shoot and disrespect people that look like you. You need to put those weapons down. You need to pick up a book, and you need to start loving, as you just said, and learn, because we are in a war, and all you're doing is helping the other side. While we're trying to fight our adversary, you're joining the adversary, to the point the adversary, you've seen the memes and the cartoons out there, the KKK and the white Aryan nations and all these other Nazis. They just look back and say, hey, we on vacation. You know why? Because the Blacks in the community are killing one another. So let them kill each other, and then we'll just come in and sweep it up, gentrification, take over their community, run the businesses, and do what needs to be done. Wake up, Black folks.
And let me roll out of that into the first thing that I brought up. How important is telling the truth? I mean, and that's listen, I really want folks to listen to what I just asked. How important is telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Because as somebody said in A Few Good Men, you can't handle the truth. So we need to start being truthful to one another. You need to have an accountability person, a buddy in your life. I appreciate Brother Fatim. Not only are we on this platform, not only does he call me sometime to come on WBLS, and not sometimes, but he will call me and ask me, hey man, how your blood sugar looking, brother? How you doing? We've got to start being truthful and have accountability buddies. And understand, I use two words and I do not use them loosely. One of them is responsibility and accountability. First of all, a lot of stuff and the positionings and the positions that we are in is we did it. Take responsibility. Understand this. Take responsibility. And if you know what you did was wrong, take also the accountability to say that you can change and make it right. You know, so many times we sit there in a pond of slush and filth because we have too much pride to admit I did it. I messed this thing up. We for some odd reason, some of us will not. The word "I'm sorry" is not in our vocabulary. Forgive me is not in our vocabulary, and we've got to do better. We've got to. Our children are suffering. Our women are suffering. Men are suffering because some of you are so pig-headedly strong in not saying I'm sorry. The reason we're here is because I messed this up. You may never be able to regain what you lost, but you at least can comfort a person that they can say he had enough or she had enough respect to admit to me that hey, I was the fault and I'm sorry. But we too busy always wanting other folks to catch the blame, brother Fatima.
Um, Joe, yeah, I didn't know you were gonna throw this question out here. This is a question that it takes thought. I mean, I'm gonna answer it right now, but my answer can change or it can evolve.
Hmm.
I believe if first of all, we are in a flawed society. We are in a
Yes.
world where we are sin, and those that are religious, everybody's not a religious person, and there's different religions, how they believe and things like that. So I don't put my beliefs on other people. So I'm not going to say if you believe in Jesus and this, that, and other. I'm not going to say that. But if you are a righteous person and you live a righteous life, and that's who you are, and that's where you continue to strive for, then you are going to tell the truth, no matter if the person can't or can't handle the truth, because that's who you are. So that's it. So if you're a righteous person, most likely you're not going to do anything that is out of the ordinary or out of your character. Don't mean that you're perfect now. Don't mean you're perfect. And if you do something that is considered out of your character, your people should understand that you're going to tell the truth. The problem with is being truthful at the end of the day, is that a lot of people are just living this flim flam kind of life. So they don't want people to judge them. They don't want things for people to know things that may not be truthful, because what the repercussions of the actions that they've done. So I can't, I do agree, some people cannot handle the truth. Some people cannot handle the truth. But once they find out the truth, if you kept it from them, remember there will be repercussions
Oh
for
yeah.
your actions. So I can't tell you how to live your life. We try to live our life in a more righteous way, because we feel if we live our life in a more righteous way, we have more peace and harmony at the end of the day. But we do live in a flawed society at the end of the day. And if we told the truth, then we'll be telling our children, we won't be telling them certain things. But so that's what I'm saying. We have to have a conversation about this. This is a little bit more in depth
Oh yeah.
conversation here,
Oh
man.
yeah.
That
Oh
that
yeah.
telling the truth, man. But everybody, just to answer your question, no, everybody can't handle the truth.
No, no.
So if you know somebody cannot handle the truth, then you gotta realize, hey, maybe I'm not gonna tell them the truth because it's gonna cause them more pain and hurt. But if they find out and then they get that pain and hurt, then what happens from there? So we'll see where it goes from
you
there.
you know the consequences. That's another word that we need to talk about more. You know, and we should be more proactive when it comes to consequences. We should ask ourselves, what is the consequences before we do a thing instead of the consequences after a thing is
Mhm.
done? It's like some of us, a great deal of us, have been put in positions where we feel that I'll do what I'll do, and whatever happens, happens. I'll do what I'll do, and whatever happens, happens. And I think, regardless of your level of spirituality, because I don't like using the word religion. I really don't. I like being around spiritual folks, not religious folks. but I think people who are spiritual understand, first of all, like you said, we're not perfect. We're far from it. Uh, it's sad that we're in such a flawed world with so many flawed things, but we're always in the pursuit of perfection. And that pursuit of perfection puts us in peculiar places with family, with friends, with loved ones, with children. I see people put a lot of pressure on their children in the pursuit of the perfection that they couldn't even achieve. Now they're trying to make sure that their children become something that maybe their children don't even choose to become, because that pursuit of perfection makes them say, no, no, you will do this because I didn't do it.
Well, my thing is like this. I hear what you're saying about being around spiritual people, and I respect that, Joe. But there's a lot of people who consider themselves under the banner of religion, and there are some good folks there that are that are consider themselves religious folks, and there's people who consider themselves to be good people that are spiritual folks. But they on the other side, there are people that are not so correct in their actions and how they live their life, and that's the world that we are in today. And we, again, that's why I said, when we have these conversations, but I tell anybody that's listening on here, you want to challenge me, it's fine. Where we at, just come on. What I'm saying is, do not, when I say don't challenge, don't bring your religion and push it and try to shove it down other people's throat, because it's not right. Your religion, oh, well, my religion, I'm a Christian and this is the way it's supposed to go, and this is what the good book said. If that's the case and that's what you believe, then that's fine. You walk in the steps of of Jesus that talks about this. But I also tell folks, understand the Bible, study the Bible. Understand, the Bible wasn't written in English, so there's a lot of words in there. Even the word Christ is not there. Jesus was not called Jesus in this time, because that's a Greek word. Jesus didn't even speak Greek. I don't feel like giving them a lesson on this here, but fact is fact. So that's what I'm saying. So don't come on. You want to come on here and feel that, oh, well, I'm a Christian and everybody needs to follow this way. No, that's why you can't impose your religious views as law in this country. That's why it's supposed to be some separation of state and religion, because you can't force, because some people want to force their religious views on people, but people have the right to exercise their right to do this and that, because they may not be religious or follow your religion. I don't agree with certain things dealing with a certain group of people or folks, how they tend to move, but they have a right to do that. They have a right to do that. And you can't put your religion on them and call them. You may want to call them, in your mind, oh, they this and they that, but they have a right to choose between what they want to do and how they want to go about it. That's why this mandate on vaccines, and me and you have been transparent. We both are vaccinated. I have taken the booster, but people have a right to decline a vaccination. But as somebody just put up, remember, there's consequences. So if you don't want to take it and there's a health mandate, you got to realize you can't sit out there and be a firefighter and go save people and got COVID and then infect other people. So at the end of the day, they put those mandates out. You don't have to take it, but you ain't going to be a damn firefighter or a policeman. Go get another job. Go get another job. You have the right to decline that. But there's consequences to your actions.
Come on. Maybe that's what we want to take away.
We here. You know where I'm at. Don't get me started.
Maybe that's the takeaway. Remember, accountability, responsibility, and for every action there is a reaction and consequences. So I'm going to shift out as we get ready to do these last 6 minutes, because I don't want Fatim to be late for his next show. But it is the holidays. The holidays is up on us, and there's going to be a lot of holiday cheer and shopping and a lot of gifts. Make sure that I would say the following. This is going to be a very strange holiday. This is the first real holiday since the pandemic has kind of somewhat got under control. Then we got
for now,
and we got supply chain issues because of the global pandemic. So a lot of stuff won't be available like it was. Because listen, it's funny. I go to certain places to get certain food, and they have on the sign because our supplier hasn't dropped off the tomatoes. We don't have any tomatoes, or you'll see a sign that says we only can serve this, this, and this because our supplier, due to the supply chain issue, we haven't received this, this, and this. And I mean, this is serious, family. This and today I saw a little a part, not to go there, not today, but I do want to bring it up. You know, look at the climate change and some of the things that are going on throughout the world. Family, we've got to wake up. I do a lot. The team does a lot, and that's how I'm going to close it out. Listen, y'all, tomorrow night, Wellness Wednesday, where a healthy you is a better you. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about wellness all together. Got a great person that I've teamed up with Positive Choices Counseling Service and Mr. Edward Brown. And I look very much forward to bringing in this new show. For team, tell them all the shows and all the things that you're doing where we can plug in and listen to you not only on WBLS but all the other things you do also. For
All
team,
right. So we start right here, on Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. We, of course, doing our show here for Teen and Joe, having these conversations, important conversations, and in different cities, but same issues that we're dealing with at the end of the day. And then on Wednesday night, on the WBLS Facebook page, along with Sunday at 9:05 a.m., we're doing the same thing on WBLS Facebook page, doing the open line online, and then 8 a.m. on WBLS 107.5. You can go to WBLS.com and do the open line radio show from 8 a.m. to 9, as I just said. And of course, I do Tangy Tea. Most of the time it's Thursday nights, from 8 to close to 10 p.m. And you can just go to Facebook, Tangy Tea of Life. The only reason I'm doing Tuesday nights is because we do an hour here, and then I'm in South Carolina, so I'm able to branch off over there. But most I'm doing Tuesday nights with Joe here. That's my commitment to do what we do, because it's very important. So thank you, Joe. And I know there gonna be some folks commenting on. They may take up my challenge, but I'm serious. This is the way we have these dialogues, and sometimes people will push back and make me go, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't look
right,
at it
right,
that way,
right, right.
because I'm not absolute and correct always in my way. So I'm not to the point. Don't think Fatina is stuck on the ego, because if I look at it a different way, or if I'm wrong at something, I'll be the first to say, you know what, I
Come
didn't look
on,
at it like that. I think I was wrong on my opinion on that, and I'm wrong, and I correct it. So I have no problem at the end of the day. But I just want to read one more comment real quick before Rhonda said, right, not right. Oh, she just said two things, right? Not right to put. She said right, not right to push religion or other beliefs. Speak the truth, brother Fatine. And she came back and said, awesome conversations, brother Joe and Fatine. Please keep the conversations coming. And she got the heart and the bells, and that's so important that we must continue to do this, Joe. And trust me, we get that phone line up, we're gonna really rock this baby. We're gonna
right,
rock this
right.
son of a gun out the door, baby.
And we're going to get it up. And once again, I do a lot. 100 BLK, the Black Station. We've got a new website that will be dropping on December the 1st, which will be www.the100blk.com. Of course, all of you out there in the gamer space, in the gamer universe, know Mr. Black Ice 357 and my people. I see one of my brothers on here, Chew Mouth. I'm actually going to be jumping off of this, going straight into some video game playing on Call of Duty. Vanguard comes out this weekend, so a lot of people are waiting for my reviews on Vanguard. I'm going to have that and so much more. On the website, we're going to be talking about tech, gaming. We're going to be talking about HBCU sports. You can catch me also on the Jaguar Football Show, which is the coach's show, with Coach Jason Rollins and Todd Sterling, who is the host. I am the sideline and the player interview guy. But you can catch us. We talking everything Southern University, the Southern University Jaguars, and that's going to be on the website also. So we got a lot of great things going on. You know, of course, you can listen to 100 BLK, the Black station, on the website, and we have a new station for all my inspirational spiritual folks, which is Praise 100. You can hear it on the website also. So look, it is 8 o'clock on the old clock on the wall. Fatim's got 5 minutes to make it to the next show. And with that being said, we got nothing but love for y'all. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share this with a friend. We'll be back next Tuesday for more community conversation. It is Fatim and Joe. We living in 2 different cities, but we dealing with the same issues. And we up out of this. Peace. Peace.
Peace.